Fishermen think they found a seal on a floating iceberg until they got a closer look. Anyone who's ever gone fishing at sea knows that it's not uncommon to find strange things out there during a fishing trip. Fishermen think they found a seal floating on an iceberg, but then they took a closer look. Before we get into the video, though, we'd like to get your seal of approval. You can do that by clicking that like button. Also, be sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos when fishermen Mallory Harrigan, Allan Russell, and Cliff Russell were a few miles off the shore of Labrador, Canada. They saw a small mushroom-shaped iceberg. On top of that iceberg was a small creature. At first they assumed that it was a seal who was just trying to get some rest. As they got closer, though, they saw that there were seagulls circling the animal that had been a seal. It would have gotten back into the water to avoid the seagull's wrath. This is when the group realized that it wasn't an animal that's meant to live in the water. They realized it could be in real danger. They could have easily gone on their way, but they realized that this was their duty to save the little animal. When they got close to the animal, they realized that it was a fox. According to one of the fishermen, the fox was likely on the iceberg looking for meat when the ice broke, sending him floating out to sea. Since Arctic foxes are not made for the water, he had nothing to do but wait and hope that help would come. Fortunately for the little guy, it did. When the group pulled their boat over to the iceberg, they realized that they would need to coax the animal onto the boat. He was scared and he would not understand that they were there to help him. At first they struggled to get the fox on board. Eventually they had to break the ice and use a dip net to try and get the scared animal on board. He fought and fought to get away, not knowing what was happening. Finally, when he was too tired to move, they were able to get him onto the boat. When the fox finally got onto the ship, he retreated to the corner. He was scared, tired, and very weak. They made a bed for the animal and tried to nurse him back to health. For the first few hours on the ship, all he wanted to do was sleep. When he finally woke up, he was very nervous. They tried to feed him chips and crackers, but he refused. It was about 5 or 6 hours before he finally ate. They gave him a tin of Vienna sausages and he ate them up. They were thrilled that he was finally eating and finally feeling better, but it was time to head back to shore. They made sure the fox would be okay. To be on his own. When he started walking and exploring the ship, they realized that he was fine. He was dry, well-rested, and he had a bellyful of sausage. When the boat docked, they released the Arctic fox back into the wild. According to Mallory, the crew sees the Arctic fox occasionally, even today, exploring old dog houses in Williams Harbor. Fortunately, he has remained safe on land at the group of fishermen not taking the time to save the fox. He most likely would have died. There was no way that he would have lasted much longer on that block of ice being attacked by seagulls the way he was when the fishermen returned home. They posted the Arctic fox's story on Facebook, and soon after they posted the story and the photos of that adorable fox, thousands of comments came pouring in. The people who read the post love a happy ending and they appreciated the actions of the crew, one Facebook user said. Thank goodness for these kind people, especially in a time when life, whether human or animal, seems to mean less and less. All life is precious and other. Facebook users stated that would have been a slow death for that beautiful little guy if you all hadn't come along. So thank you for giving one of Mother Nature's creatures another chance. He really is a cutie. Thousands of messages were posted just like these. That fox is lucky that it was this fishing group that found him. Subscribe for more.